This is Charles Johnson, the national editor of Farm Journal and Top Producer magazines. I'm here, about 12 or 15 miles south of Yuma, Colorado, visiting with Byron Weathers. Byron is a corn farmer and is president of the Colorado Corn Growers Association. And Byron is planting corn today. Byron, would you talk a little bit about the corn in Colorado, the importance of corn here in the Republican River Basin, and a little bit about the outlook for corn here?
Sure, thank you. I'd be glad to. Corn is in the state of Colorado is not a major crop like it is in the Midwest, but we raise a substantial amount. We have counties in our state that are the largest feeders in the country, and so the state of Colorado is actually a deficit state for corn. We import a lot of corn from other states, Nebraska, Kansas, other states, even Iowa. But this year I think we'll probably be in the same acreage level as we have been the last year or two. Most of our corn in our area where we live in Yuma County, Colorado, is irrigated corn. We're in the Republican River Basin here. We pump out of the Ogallala Aquifer, and about 70% of the corn raised in the state of Colorado that's under irrigation is raised in this Republican River Basin where we live here. It's a very integral area for the corn production in the state of Colorado. Our water issues in the state, in the Republican River Basin here, are tied to a compact that was signed between Colorado, Kansas, and Nebraska back in 1942 with this final stipulation that was reached in 2002 that required Nebraska and Colorado to deliver certain flows into the downstream states, and we've been dealing with that for the last 3 or 4 years here. We have a Republican River Compact administration that entails all 3 states. In the state of Colorado, we have a Republican River Water Conservation District that was put into effect to help bring Colorado into compact compliance with our portion of the compact. We've been dealing with that. They've been in business for about 4 years now, maybe 5 years, and they've had several different ideas, ways to try to get us into compact compliance. A couple of different government programs, the EQIP program, the CREP program, to set aside ground to dry up wells, dry up acres. Those issues have been part of what has been going on for the last few years. The latest idea is a pipeline to pump water out of the basin and actually put it into the North Fork of the Republican River to help bring us into compact compliance. And it's underway. It's been in effect, or getting close to construction for about the last 6 months. The design phase is all done. Everything is in place. As soon as we get the okay from Kansas and Nebraska to go ahead with it, we're ready to go with that. So there are many things that affect us here in the state. There's water issues all through the state. The Front Range has their issues on the South Platte. Of course, the southeastern part of the state is the Arkansas. So Colorado is a state that's unlike any other, where every drop of water that is in a stream flows from the state of Colorado out. We don't have any water that flows into the state of Colorado. So we have to come up with it either from snowpack or rainfall, or aquifers that drain out into rivers. So it's been an interesting thing. It's been a fun time in the last few years dealing with all this, but I hope it finalizes and comes to an end here one of these days, comes to a resolution that is equitable for all 3 states.
Well, something like this requires a lot of creativity, a lot of creative thinking, I think. Now, you have some of your wells on your property have been retired through the CREP and the EQIP programs. Could you just briefly talk about how that works and how that's working out for you?
Sure. We have 3 wells, 2 wells that we put in CREP program and 1 well that we put in the EQIP program. All 3 of those were shut down and capped. We don't pump those anymore. The EQIP program, we're able to still farm that ground as dryland ground. The CREP ground, we put that to grass, and we are growing that grass right now. We've been in for 2 years now, and that grass is getting established at this point. The Republican River Conservation District had a funding mechanism that they provided part of the payment to pay producers to shut down wells in the CREP and the EQIP both, and then the federal government had a portion that they paid also. And so it was a good program for us to shut down these wells to get them back into grass in the 2 instances, and then the other one we were able to farm still. But it's been a good program for us.
And these wells were in more marginal areas of the aquifer where the levels had been dropping somewhat, is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. We had those wells were drilled about 30 years ago, and they were kind of marginal wells at that time, and they tapered off quite a bit, and they were to the point where we were either going to have to reduce the size of the circle, which we could have done that. We could have cut them back to, from 120 acres maybe down to 50 or 60 acres and still pumped enough water to do that. But we figured with the opportunity to go on these programs and to help out with the compact compliance, we just shut them down completely and quit pumping.
Okay, well, Byron, I know that you've been planting corn since about 5:30 this morning, and you're going to keep going until late tonight, so we'll let you get back to it, but appreciate you taking time out with us, and certainly wish you the best of luck with your crops this year. This is Charles Johnson reporting from outside Yuma, Colorado, for the editors of Farm Journal and Top Producer magazines.